water because it starts to get too dry. It starts to get stuck. I can do that. For right now, try to use what's there. Yeah, this one's kind of getting stuck to the surface because it's a very matte surface, but this is almost getting there. Kind of shimming it. These prefer to be pushed rather than pulled. Because if you pull, you're putting pressure, normal force down from above. So you see the edge is lifted a little bit. That's fine. Because I'm going to come back and smooth that out after it's settled in place. But I like that position. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So I will let that dry. And then I'll come back and smooth out the edges. Some standard process is to smooth it now, but this will just reduce stress. It just makes it a lot easier. So I'll go back like that larger one. Yeah, sorry, I'm staying farther away just generally because it makes it more convenient for me to show the whole process. What I'm doing right here is I just put a little bit of solvent with a little bit of glue built into it on top of this decal that I attached a few minutes ago. And I'm just smoothing out the edges of it, make sure that it's completely flat. The reason that I don't do that typically with these when the adhesive is still wet is I don't want to have to deal with accidentally getting it caught and then pulling it too far and then have to reset it, and it's a back and forth battle. So this way, get it where I want it, let it go, let it settle itself. Then I come back and just seal it down. Do the same thing with these two that I did here on stream earlier today. Same thing for the other side as well. Just make sure the edges are nice and sealed down. I was feeling a lot of tugging on that one, so I'm rolling, making sure I don't tear them. Same thing on the other side. Helps to flatten it out. Saw a little bit of air in that one. Gonna try that again because it looks like it's a little bit loose at this end. Do this gently. Okay, that's good. And same thing. The thing that I'm using to seal them is a setter. It's called setter or setting fluid maybe. It's something that can be used during initial application as well. It's part solvent, so it actually softens the decal itself. The backing, it softens it. And it also has a little bit of adhesive in it. And then to really get these permanent, typically what people do is top coat the whole model afterwards. But I've already done a top coat. I did like a pre-coat to get the matte finish on here that I want after doing the panel lining. So the process that I use is significantly faster than usual, but it's unusual. It's odd. I don't know if I can recommend it. Literally just yesterday met the first person I've ever seen to do the same process. And he was like, "You're the first person I've ever seen do the same process." We had a moment. To be able to see the whole process of shifting them. Neat to be able to see. Yeah, fair enough. The Festival of Lost Armor in D2 is cool. I voted for it. I wish that there was more overtly Gundam-like stuff in it, but I'll take any mecha stuff that I can. I don't know how much of it I'm going to be able to integrate into my character fashion, but I will do all that I can. Very happy that those were able to win. What happens if you happen to tear one? Some of them have spares, but for those that don't have spares, you just try to fit it back together. Float the whole thing up. Try to push the different parts, like if it's torn here, try to push them together. Maybe get a little bit of overlap if needed, and then just let it dry. And usually you'll be okay. Top coat, then another top coat. Yeah, so the proper process, Leia, the correct process, what you're supposed to do, at a minimum, if you're not going to paint the set, what you're supposed to do to be a true Gundam bruh is wash the kit, wash the plastic sprues to begin with. Carefully. Dry them. Spray them with gloss coat, gloss. Then do the panel lining. Clean up the panel lining. Add the decals. Then top coat and clear over that. That's what you're supposed to do. What I'm doing is panel lining, getting all those black lines to be inked in, because the lines are physically there, but they're not visible by default. So I'm adding the black lines in so that you can see all that detail. And then just top coat over that with the matte or the satin, depending upon the parts. Like all the gray parts, most of the gray parts are in satin, and most of the red parts are in matte. Some of the red parts are also in satin, like this and the head. And then here's a gray part that's in matte. So the main body of the gun here is in matte, and then the grip here, or magazine, whatever it's supposed to be. These are both exchangeable, so I don't know what they're going for in universe, but both of those are also satin. So those are painted as top coats, even though technically it was one of my first steps. It's a weird process that I use. It just allows me to have a Gundam done very, very quickly that looks kind of finished. You know, it looks like it has some custom detailing without taking many weeks. This is 2 days. Plus the prep work took a little bit longer. Again, I don't recommend that process. It's just something I've experimented with that works for me, because I just want the results. And so far it works for me. But again, technically you should seal decals with a top coat. Just realized I forgot to trim one little bit here. There we go. Gun is done. If it's a crazy idea and it works, then it's not such a crazy idea after all. Maybe. I just want to be really clear about the disclaimer, because I don't want folks to be influenced by me and then start doing a thing, and then when folks with more experience than me see it, they tell the influenced ones, what are you doing? You're doing it all wrong. This is objectively incorrect. Stop. I'm ready to head out. Right on. Well, thank you for hanging out while you did. I'll see you soon. Thanks for being here, Deepak Rat. Again. Ooh, sticker number 1. Wait, 33 and 34? Good thing I was careful with those, because there are no spares. This is what a satin finish looks like. That level of sheen. Or a semi-gloss, it's also called.